Although feel free to swear as much as you'd like.
Oh, I was giving you a nice question.
Yeah, you can cuss it out if you care to.
Heck yeah.
You were saying you were in broadcasting? What kind of broadcasting were you doing?
Yeah. So I went to school to be like a small market TV weather guy. So I went specifically to the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication at Washington State University. Go Cougs, shout out. And it's at the time, I think it probably still was like one of the top broadcasting schools in the country.
Okay.
And it's like so legit. So I for one of my classes, you're hosting like the local radio show. For another class, you're an anchor, reporter, whatever, sports person, for the local TV broadcast. And, you're writing for the local newspaper. It's a very like hands-on and just like cool broadcasting, kind of setup. And, so I took all that experience and now I write cartoons for a living, which, doesn't really have anything to do with that. But it is, I always I don't know, I love radio and TV, and what y'all are doing here is so cool.
Let me ask you, because I do the weather for my morning show that I do.
Heck yeah.
And I put together the forecast for all the other DJs to use throughout the rest of the day. We get it from the National Weather Service. I do try to research it. I rewrite it a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you are studying specifically to be a weatherman for a TV station. Like, do you have to take meteorology courses?
Okay, so that's a good question. That's actually, it's two different things. So like a weather person is not like an official title. You're just like the person who reports the weather. A meteorologist, you go to school for meteorology. So a meteorologist, it's like you're a weather person, but also with like a science degree, if that makes sense. So that was actually a big point of contention at my school, is like students, when they were doing the the local news broadcast class, they would say can you have my lower third say meteorologist? And the professor would backhand them and be like, no, you would not have a meteorology degree. So meteorology, it's you can actually do the science to figure out what the weather is. Whereas a weather person, you're just going to weather.com and being at 7 p.m. it's supposed to rain, I guess.
It's more training about how to move in front of the green screen than it is to actually read clouds.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you. We're already starting, but we should introduce the podcast.
Gingerbread Man Down, Clean Up on Aisle Podcast.
You are tuned in to Clean Up on Aisle Podcast, the dirty truth about grocery stores. I'm your host, Jef Harmatz, here with my co-host, Adam Fligsten. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Jeff. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I am so excited for our guest and our topic today.
Me too.
And we are joined by Joey Clift.
Hey, everybody. I'm waving at a camera, I think. This is an audio medium, but there is a camera in the room I'm waving at.
Clip that.
Yeah.
But you were talking about this a little bit before we started to record. You're actually in town for a film festival. You are live in our studio, and you live in LA, but you're in Joshua Tree right now, and you came out for the Yucca Valley Film Festival, correct?
Yeah, I have an animated short film that's currently making the rounds. It's called POW. It's sort of it's about a young Native American kid trying to find a place to charge his video game console at a powwow. It's sort of like a Looney Tunes short made by the people who made Reservation Dogs. Is sort of the general vibe that I'm going for with it. And it's inspired by my experiences kind of being dragged by my mom to powwows when I was a kid. I'm an enrolled member of the Cowlitz Indian Tribe of Washington State, and then I grew up on the Tulalip Reservation. And I drove here to screen it as part of this festival. And the people that run this festival are so nice. I do feel a little rude though. So I live in Los Angeles. Yucca Valley's a little bit of a drive from Los Angeles.
It's about 2 hours, depending. 2.5.
Okay, so according to Waze, it was 2 hours, but it took 3 hours. So I definitely showed up 10 minutes into my screening, being like, "Hey, everybody!"
Was there a guy who said, "And now here's Joey Clift," and then they turn the spotlight to an NDC?
Okay, so fortunately, the people that run the festival are very on their game. So I was texting with them saying "Hey, I ran into a bunch of traffic around San Bernardino or whatever," and they were very cool about it. But there was, I think, a moment at the start where they like had all of the filmmakers come up on stage to say like, we're going to do a Q&A afterwards. And I was not there, so I don't know this for a fact. But usually when you screen at a film festival, there's like a question and answer session with the audience afterward where you can talk about your film. And they definitely introduced me as like, hey, we've got one of our filmmakers who was here before and then one that came in a little bit late. So they gave me a little bit of shade.
It's a really fun. We're not here to talk about the Yucca Valley Film Festival, but
I am exclusively here to talk about the Yucca Valley Film Festival.
I've never been on tour. I've like worked on comics in my garage. Adam, have you been on tour? I know that you played in bands and a lot of music.
Band tours, but only maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. Touring's hard. It sucks.
Yeah, and you were saying that you are currently on a film festival tour right now.
Yeah, I'm currently taking this film on tour, and what that means is I'm screening it at various film festivals around the world, and because this is I've made a couple of films before this, but this is my first one where like I had like an animation production company attached and like a good budget and all of that. So I'm trying to kind of go to as many of these screenings as possible to support the film, which is really cool. But like I think I did the math. I will have been on 50 airplanes by the end of this year.
As we're recording this is like possibly the worst time in like the 21st century to try and fly anywhere. Like we're in the midst of the federal government shutdown.
Yeah. I was on a plane from New York to Los Angeles yesterday, and then I'm on a plane from Los Angeles to Washington State tomorrow. So I'm just like, so far I've not been bit by the shutdown. I think I might have had like one flight canceled, I don't know, like a week or 2 ago, but it was like immediately rerouted and I figured it out and it was fine. But yeah, it is. The vibes in airports right now are definitely like a little off, which understandable.
My parents were supposed to go to Mexico City. I went to Mexico City for New Year's last year, and I told my parents, "Oh, it's the best." And so then they booked their trip.
Yeah.
They did not get to Mexico City. My dad called me from traffic on the way back from LA actually yesterday. Quite furious. So
I'm preparing for like. Fortunately, most of my next couple of travel legs are West Coast, so it's like there are like strategies to flying. If you get like a morning flight, you're less likely to have the flight be canceled. And also the benefit of a morning flight is if it gets canceled, there's more flights the rest of the day you can jump on. But my girlfriend and I flying back from New York yesterday, our flight was originally supposed to leave at 5 p.m. and we were like, let's bump that up to like 11 a.m. just to help our chances of it not getting canceled. But I've been touring this film around. It's been so cool. Like our world premiere was in New Zealand like March 28th, and then
did you go there?
Yeah, I flew there. And what was frustrating about that is I told myself that wherever in the world my world premiere was, I was going to fly to it. And then my world premiere was, so I got it in New Zealand. But I mean, New Zealand's amazing. It was a film festival put on by the Maori people. It was genuinely a cool experience. But then my North American premiere was honestly in Palm Springs on March 30th. And then I was screening like April 1st in Phoenix, and then like April 3rd in New York City, and then April 5th in Cleveland. So like, I think that in the first week of the film screening at festivals, I think I flew 23,000 miles.
Oh my God.
The circumference of the earth is 24,000 miles. So yeah, it's like truly an honor to get to do it, but I'm so tired.
My partner is Australian. I have done the flight to Perth, which is, not a fun flight. How did you do on the flight to New Zealand?
So the flight to New Zealand, that was, I got a red eye, but all of that's to say every flight to New Zealand is going to be a red eye. Yeah, you're like an 18-hour flight.
Don't even try and like consider the type of eye that it's going to be. It's going to be weird, and you're going to be a broken person.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, I had a direct flight to sort of I think the capital city of New Zealand, whose name escapes me. And then I had a layover to Wellington, which is near what the festival was. And if you've never been to the Wellington airport, it is aggressively Lord of the Rings themed. Like that's around where they filmed Lord of the Rings, and it's like you get out of the airport and there's like a giant there's a giant wizard riding a griffin. Like there's like huge dragons everywhere. There's a giant like Smaug golem like overlooking like the main flight deck. And especially if you're coming off of an 18-hour flight and you have not slept in a long time and very jet lagged, it's like so jarring.
I can absolutely imagine it's That seems really unsettling to walk into that. And like, are you going to get whacked? Is this wizard on the dragon like actually alive? Am I going to get bopped on the head with a cane? What does he have? A staff?
Yeah. I mean, look, Gandalf protected me on that trip. It was okay. Well, honestly, you might relate to this going to Australia a lot. The most stressful part was like I had to rent a car to drive to where the film festival was. It was about like an hour or two out of Wellington. And they drive on the left in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. I've never done that before. So the entire like drive, I think I literally drew a Post-it note just with a left arrow and stuck it to the dashboard. And I was just like, don't drive in the right lane, don't drive in the lane.
Did it get comfortable at any point? Or
Oh, no.
Okay.
Because I was also very jet lagged. So it's like running on no sleep and knowing that I have to operate a car in a like normally is stressful, but also being like, they drive on the other side of the road here. Oh God, oh God, oh God.
My partner has been in the States for 20 years, more than 20 years, I'd say at this point. And still she like constantly veers towards the left lane when we're
right.
Like when we started dating, she was living in downtown Los Angeles. And like every time I'm a passenger in her car, she like always is starting to veer into that left lane. Like she is forgetting. She needs the Post-it note to remind her to stay in the right lane up here. You never get it, is my point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were definitely a couple times I was Otaki, New Zealand is where the festival was, where fortunately it's a small town, but there were a few times where I was like, for sure driving on the wrong side of the road. And then I like looked over and saw like the direction the cars were parked on the side of the road. Then I was like, oh, let me just get over a lane, you know.
I just went to London for the very first time, and I don't know if either of y'all have.
Oh, yeah, London. I did a study abroad there. London's great.
The way that the, I guess, like the traffic lights work, where there's like a bike lane and then like guarded lanes for traffic.
Right.
And you have to look several times to cross any street. You can't just like look once. You got to say, okay, is this lane safe? Is this lane safe? Is this lane safe? And trying to retrain myself to look to the left.
Oh, yeah, that would stress me.
It was really stressful.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was, walking home from the pub and stuff, and I was like not in the right headspace to be double checking that I was like looking in the right direction.
Yeah.
So
top line, travel sucks. Know what you should do. Never leave your house.
Well, I'm always curious when it comes to people who are traveling a lot, like, how are you eating? Like, hopefully it's not just fast food, but what are the options when you're flying every day to a different state?
So I'm like so excited to guest on this podcast to talk about this because supermarkets have become such a key facet of my life. I've been, I would say, traveling pretty heavy since about 2019, of course, a break in 2020 and stuff like that, where, I probably get flown out, once a month to some random place to give a talk, do a comedy show, screen a thing or whatever. And that was something that I had to figure out early on is like, if you don't travel a ton, you're probably just going to eat all your meals at the hotel or at restaurants or whatever.
Hopefully not the airport. That's the worst place to eat.
Yeah, I've started to really love eating at the airport. So I, used to do that. And then I it definitely wasn't the most healthy thing to eat, like hotel omelets every morning, So eventually I learned the trick of whenever you're flying into someplace, go to a supermarket.
Really?
Yeah. Like I have like a grocery list. I started working out with a personal trainer really recently. And so because of that, I have to follow like a macronutrient plan. I have to eat a certain amount of protein and carbs and fat every day and stuff like that. And it's really hard to do that when you're traveling, especially if you're eating out. So I make it a point to like go to a supermarket. I literally that's one of the things I'm Googling when I'm like about to jump on a plane is I'm just like, where's the closest like Target or something to like my hotel? And then I'll go and I'll buy several days worth of food. I'll buy, honestly, just like hand soap because bar soap at hotels feels kind of weird. I'm buying, mouthwash, and I've got it down to like such a system. And usually what I do is like, I'll make it a point to eat like a hyper prepared supermarket meal of like, protein bars, protein shakes, like raisins, some, bananas, whatever for like 2 meals out of the day. And that gives me permission to like go hog wild for the third meal and really just eat whatever I want. But yeah, supermarkets are like such a key part of travel.
What about the cultural differences that are is a culture shock in a supermarket? Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah. So fortunately, most supermarkets around the world have similar setups, especially if you're looking for something really specific like a protein shake. like there are most places that you're going to go, they're going to have like Premier Protein or Fairlife or like Only What You Need or whatever, or some, regional version of a protein bar. New Zealand honestly was a little bit stressful because like the only protein shakes that they had were like protein shakes that are also coffee. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to be like railed on protein and coffee when I'm here. So I think I had to like kind of make do with like protein bars and like, just like looking at like, sandwich meats and stuff like that.
I'm going to tell on myself a little bit, and maybe y'all can weigh in on this for me. But like, when you say you're going to a grocery store and getting a protein shake, like, what does that look like? I don't think I've ever had a protein shake in my life. And like, is this in the chilled section? Are you buying like powders and mixing stuff up at the hotel room? Like, this is a foreign concept to me.
Okay, so I wish I was. I joke with my friends about this sometimes. About I'm not quite to the point of having a checked bag full of protein powder. I'm close. I'm not quite there yet. So usually, honestly, most of the really good protein shakes are in sort of the pharmaceuticals section.
Okay,
so there's like specifically like it's like under like dietary supplements or whatever. It's near vitamins, the vitamin section, and there's a couple different brands of protein shakes that you can get. You can get something like an Ensure, which probably has like 10 to 12 grams of protein. But for your average person, you want to eat like 1 gram of protein per pound of your body. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you probably want to have 150 grams of protein. So it becomes like this hyper-specific math thing of like, what is the ratio of protein to calories? So the really good, like, like hardcore ones where it's like 200 calories for 30 grams of protein are going to be like next to the vitamins,
Is this what they call a macro, or am I mixing up some things?
Yeah, that's like a macro, right. Like the macro, it's like the macro ratio is something that you're always kind of looking for with that. And for anybody watching, yes, I'm aware that it sounds like I have a problem. Please help.
I only remember Ensure from the movie Deep Impact. Y'all ever see that one?
No, but what was the plot line?
So there is a big protein loading plot line in the bag.
It was like, so it's an asteroid movie. There was the 2 asteroid movies that summer. There was that and Armageddon, and the underdog, I went and saw Deep Impact in the theater. Still never seen Armageddon, even though I've become a big Michael Bay fan. And they're like hoarding stuff, like they're getting into like bunkers and stuff, and I think Ensure probably did product placement because they're just like people loading like crates and crates of Ensure, like branded, logo to the camera type shots of these crates, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Ensure. There it is. I know about it now. Thank you, Deep Impact.
I guess what's like funny to me about that is like that's awful product placement. It's just like when the apocalypse happens, this is the only thing you'll have.
I mean, better than Twinkies? Could have been. Yeah, it couldn't get them as
this would be like fun. You'd be like, ooh, I'm glad I'm in this bunker. Whereas Ensure, you're like, okay, I guess if this will keep my gains on track.
So you're not cooking in your hotel rooms, I assume, right?
Yeah. So that is a frustrating thing about hotels nowadays is that a lot of hotels don't have microwaves or refrigerators anymore, which if you want to, prepare meals in your hotel, it's just not happening, So usually what I'm doing is buying a lot of pre-prepared stuff. Like I mentioned, things like protein bars, protein shakes, like crackers, like raisins, like bananas, like vitamin waters or like coconut waters or something like that. Like I do have it down to a science, which is very frustrating for my girlfriend because basically like I'll walk into a grocery store like with a man on like a man on a mission. Like I know exactly what aisles I'm going into. I almost don't even have to look when I'm like going into a Target. I'm just like completely like grabbing things and then just like, laying them up into the shopping cart. Whereas she wants to like look to see if there's stuff that she'd like to have. Whereas I'm like, no, I'm just looking at food as like RPG statistics at this point, Like I'm like a role-playing game character that needs to fill up my mana.
I guess this is a great time to kind of dig into it. We're digging already into grocery stores, and I'll be honest with you, the Lunchables research that we have found is going to be extensive. We have a lot to do with Lunchables. But I'm curious, you mentioned you grew up in Washington State. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah.
And what was your early grocery shopping like?
So my early grocery shopping, like my parents did it for me. I think that I was a kid growing up where like I just kind of, I didn't necessarily put a lot of thought into the groceries that we were getting. There are of course things that I wanted, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch or chocolate milk or whatever, but I wasn't necessarily looking at brands. But I think that to me, and I'm excited that we're talking about it, is like how Lunchables entered my life in such a hyper specific way. Like, like I was raised by like, a single mother with a ton of jobs, and like a Lunchable, it was just such an easy thing to be like, here's a meal, And I've grown to like really appreciate that as I've grown older. And like, it's like the perfect mix of like, it's literally the stuff that I'm eating when I'm going to the store is like crackers, cheese, meat, like a pizza kind, if they've got that, I'm essentially like just having the protein macro version of Lunchables at all times.
And we will get into that. When you do look at those, RPG stats on a Lunchable, it's not a good thing to be seen.
On a Lunchable specifically.
Yeah.
They do have like at Ralph's or whatever, they'll have like Lunchables for adults, Simple Truth, it's basically just meats and crackers.
So something I think is I am so excited to talk about this. Are y'all big fans of like charcuterie? Do you know what that is?
100%, yes.
So like, I love that like charcuterie is just fancy person Lunchables.
So this is like, it makes me a little wild. I actually found an article from, I think it's like the London Herald or something, where they say, oh, this like shop owner she's calling it Lunchables for adults, and it's just a charcuterie board. I am like, Lunchables is it's baby's first charcuterie, and they've been doing this for like centuries, for thousands of years. Wood, meat, and cheese has been like totally a thing, and the fact that people are like calling it like, oh, now it's Lunchable for adults.
Successful branding.
Very, very successful branding.
Yeah, I guess I would be, because I mean, I feel like I'm very rarely excited to eat a charcuterie. Like, it's the sort of thing where, like, you're at a party and it's there and you're just like, oh, like, I haven't had dinner. I'll like eat way too many crackers and meat at this thing. Whereas now I think it's like, if I was at a place and they advertised it as adult Lunchables, like, I'd spend $50 on that.
Really?
Yeah. If it was like, like the salami has been aged for 20 years and this is like goat milk cheese. Yeah. And it's like, if they really sold it and just called it Lunchables for adults, I would spend like a full meal's amount of money on it.
I get it. If you're at like a fancy, whatever, mocktail kind of place and you get I get it. I would, yeah. Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like charcuterie is like is like pompous, whereas like adult Lunchables is like, oh, this is gonna be a party.
So I was just in Paris. I was in London and Paris earlier in this month, and like one of my favorite meals that we had, like we were walking around in Paris and a friend found. I've been calling them like wine caves, which is like a type of place that they have in Paris where they sell wine.
It's like a cave with wine.
Yeah, well, it's not literally a cave. I did go into an actual wine cave in London. But this is like a wine shop, and you can order food, you order a bottle of wine to go, or you can stay and they'll like tell you about it. And we did that for lunch one day, more than a few days, but this one particular place, like they brought us out this giant board of meats and cheese, which was almost exactly as you described it, Joey. It was like, oh, here's the goat's cheese, here's the sheep's milk cheese, this is a blue cheese, this has she said it has a long taste. So she's like, finished with this one, it's got a long taste, because it would sit on your tongue for a while, the blue cheese. But
I feel like maybe an English first language person would have had a different adjective for that.
But that was so poetic and beautiful.
Oh, you like? Okay.
It really
it doesn't sound good to me at all.
And she brought out a tripe, like a head cheese, but made out of tripe.
Wow!
And she warned us. She's like, maybe go easy on this one. This one can be for the experts.
Yeah, this is a long taste, but not in the good way.
But I love to eat that way. My partner loves to eat that way. But I've got some problems with Lunchables. I guess we're just diving right into the topic. We might as well. You kind of got into your history, Joey, with Lunchables, but like, you remember them fondly?
Wait, I guess, so quick question before we get into Lunchables. Do y'all consider yourselves foodies? Do you eat at like nice restaurants or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's something my girlfriend and I talk about a lot is like how, I guess I would say like low art or like high art transfers to food. It's like you can go to a nice, like a Michelin star restaurant and have a nice meal, But sometimes that doesn't hit as much as like Waffle House or something,
100%.
And like, I kind of feel that way about Lunchables where, I mean, I feel like as a kid growing up in the 90s, I ate, like all different types of Lunchables. I ate Lunchables. I ate, the off-brand, like whatever they were called.
Armor's, what were they called? The Lunch Makers by Armor.
Yeah. Lunch Makers. Yeah, where like I think that all of them came with like an Andes mint or something like that. And I would say that I think that my experience with Lunchables was largely a positive one. I think that as a kid, I appreciated that it's just sort of like a contained, okay, this is your lunch. I would say that my most fond memory would probably be of pizza Lunchables. And if you're not familiar, basically it's like it comes with like a large cracker and then like cheese that you put on it, usually some kind of pepperoni, and then it comes with some kind of marinara sauce. And I like love marinara sauce to the point that I would like, empty my thing of marinara sauce onto this pizza. And then once I'm done with the pizza, I'd be like you're trying to get the last bit of toothpaste out of a thing of toothpaste, just like sucking up as much marinara sauce out of this thing as possible. So, in general, I think that for me, like Lunchables, I would say that they were fun. It was like a process to eat it. It was very not pompous and not pretentious. And it was just like enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
Adam, and I'm very curious to hear your answer to this because you're vegan these days. And when I think of Lunchables, I generally think of gross meat.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat Lunchables when you were a kid?
Of course I did. I was a kid in the 90s. I mean, I had them. I mean, it was always the thing that another kid had at lunch and you'd be like, damn, that looks good, right? that was and that's even the big part of their marketing strategy is like, basically you're going to be your kid is going to be the cool kid at the lunch table.
Well, and like they say that that's a marketing strategy, but when I was a kid getting Lunchables, for my like elementary school and middle school lunches and stuff, like people were like, oh, damn, you got a Lunchable? Like, and I was like a nerdy, like dorky, like scrawny kid. So like to get that level of like, oh, people are like, think I'm cool because I've had a pizza Lunchable. It's like, that's real,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I would, occasionally my mom would succumb to my begging and she'd buy me a Lunchable. Most of the time I would just get this, school lunch. But and the pizza one was probably the one I remember the most having, besides just basic, meat, cheese cracker kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's a bunch of fancy ones that I was looking at today.
We've got a lot to go through.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but isn't there like a type of Lunchable that you can buy that's like $500 and like dusted with gold or something?
I have not seen that one. Is it actually made by the Oscar Mayer Corporation?
It's made by Oscar Mayer, but it's essentially it's like an expensive Lunchable type thing that also comes with like a small snifter of wine, and like it's truly Lunchables for adults.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah. And it's like you look at it and it's like, oh, this is a Lunchable. It's just $400.
Well, it gets back to your point about like fancy food versus Waffle House or whatever. I think about this a lot. Like if you go to a fancy restaurant, they're going to serve you something that's expensive, not necessarily like truffles or caviar or whatever. And then if you flip it on its head, it's like if somehow Doritos were really, really hard to get, like people would be lining up, Michelin star lining out the block to get a taste of the Doritos because they're delicious. It's the best thing you can put in your mouth.
Ranch Doritos are fantastic,
Yeah.
We did a Michelin restaurant when we were in Paris, and I think my partner was a little underwhelmed with some of the protein choices that we were served. Like she's like, I didn't really want to eat duck or turf, Like she's like, I wish that it was more. She didn't want to say downscale, but like more accessible types of food. Like we ate it and it was good, but she's like, I could have used a steak or like a chicken leg or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's something like I eat at fancy restaurants here and there, and it's like there are definitely times where I will like have a steak at a fancy restaurant and I'll be like, this isn't as good as like a Denny's steak, I do think it is so interesting to think about like that comparison of like, a fancy restaurant, like you think it's good because of the price, but that oftentimes doesn't necessarily translate. And it's like, I've eaten at a lot of fancy restaurants where it's just like, yeah, this is not as good as like a McChicken sandwich.
Clearly.
So my history, and I doing the research for this show, I unlocked like a really weird memory. It's nothing that bad, but like I would do the Lunchables. They like it felt like a peer pressure thing. We've kind of danced around this a little bit, but you said you were begging your mom, Adam, to buy the Lunchables.
Yeah.
I feel like I was doing that a little bit as well. And I think that was part of how Lunchables were sold. It's like they were pitched as like top tier stuff, and the kids would beg for it. And I got some Lunchables and stuff, and I don't think I ever enjoyed the Lunchable. I hate to say it, I'm coming out as a Lunchable hater here on this show.
All right.
I got them plenty. I never had bologna until I was a grown man. So I know a lot of people were very into the bologna Lunchables. Was that a popular one? I always had the turkey or the ham.
First off, I have to say, I feel so bamboozled. I thought this was going to be a pro-Lunchable conversation. So, good day.
I ate them, and like, I have no nostalgia for them. I'm like, I remember the bad waxy cheese. When y'all are talking favorably about the pizza one, I think the pizza Lunchable might be like the worst thing I ever ate in my entire life. It's bad that it's the cracker, the like little pizza dough. It's like, it's soft and it's gummy, and like
I love a gummy cracker.
y'all genuinely were very into the pizza one. Was like you think fondly of it, and I'm not asking you to try them today, but like it's a good pleasant memory for you.
Wait, do you have Lunchables?
I do not have any Lunchables.
Now we're okay. That feels wait. Okay, so not only do you not have Lunchables, you're trash talking Lunchables. This is not what I signed up for. Yeah, I think like I get what you're talking about. So I don't think that I necessarily, like, I was raised by a single mom, and so for her, like, I'm sure that it was just sort of like, oh, what's like an easy thing that I can give my kid? I feel like, and I'm not sure if y'all experienced this growing up. Like, I feel like the way that my mom operated is probably the same that a lot of like single parents operate, in that like if your kid says that they like something, you're just gonna keep on giving that to them for like 20 years. So it's like, it's to the point where like, I feel like when I was a kid, maybe at one point I said, oh, I would like a pizza Lunchable. And then she just internalized that for the rest of my life, to the point where like, when I go visit my mom in Washington now, like she'll usually say some version of like, oh, if you're hungry, I have some Lunchables in the refrigerator for you.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh, that's like, even though like I don't love them, that's like nice,
So have you had one recently?
I would say not as recently as this year, but definitely within the past, I would say year and a half, I've probably had a Lunchable.
And they're still hitting for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still hitting for me.
You said you love the marinara sauce, so I found the pizza one in particular like really not my vibe. This is the thing that I had the realization about. I have not thought about this in about, I don't know, 30 years. But there was a Taco Bell branded Lunchable that came with a pouch of like meat goo, like
Yeah.
and I would eat that like crazy.
Just the meat goo.
I think I would squeeze the meat goo directly into my mouth and discard the rest of the Lunchable. And I'm like, I don't think I enjoyed it. I don't know if I was like trying to impress other kids, but I've like,
Wait, do you have a memory of trying to impress other kids?
might have been
by
like, hey,
squeezing
check this out. I'm going to squeeze the whole meat tube into my mouth.
It seems like you're saying something specific then.
Yes. And I think that little tube of meat is just like, when I think of like gross things, that is hadn't thought about it in years, and now I uncovered that memory and I like shuddered.
Was it in a flat package like a salad dressing or something?
Or like the marinara sauce?
Yeah.
It was just absolutely heinous.
Okay, so I don't think that I remember this on store shelves. I don't think I ever had a Taco Bell Lunchable, but that just reminds me, I do have a personal brag that I'm very excited about.
All right.
There was one time when I got a pizza Lunchable and I opened it up and it had 2 marinara sauce packets. And I was like, yeah, right. Jackpot.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to use a full marinara sauce packet on one weird gummy cracker.
Pity the poor bastard who got no marinara packets. You got some unlucky child's marinara packet.
Yeah.
Hey, screw that kid. Yeah. So something that I do think is really interesting about this is, I think that with Lunchables, like Yeah, I feel like everybody, you do have some, like, I cannot picture somebody from our generation never having a Lunchable. You know, like, I feel like all of us do have some memories associated with them. Like, yeah, you've had Lunchables before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
Well, when you say our generation, and I won't out anybody else's age, but I'm happy to say,
The same age as you.
okay, I'm happy to say that I am 41 years old.
Oh, same.
Okay, and
Hell yeah, bros.
Hell
yeah.
we are the Lunchables generation.
Yeah.
It was invented, I'm seeing some varying years, but like certainly in the 80s.
88 is when it became nationwide.
Okay. But we like are the test market. We're the people that they were designed to satisfy, and they were built specifically for us. Like,
So I want to pitch a team name for us. Can we call ourselves the Lunchables Boys? Sure. It's like, the LBs in the studio.
I love it.
yeah, you know, I'll be the surly one because I'm not so wild about the product, but like,
Well,
this was like specifically for us.
Jeff, initiation is squeezing a bunch of tubes of various goos into your mouth.
Okay.
I mean, so something I think is so funny about Lunchables is like, essentially they're, especially with the pizza one and the taco one, they're essentially serving you like cold pizza, right? It's like I worked at a Pizza Hut for a few years when I was in high school. And like, I feel like there were a couple times where I might have even run a pizza Lunchable through the pizza oven and it tasted awful.
Oh, yeah, that's in my head. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, but because it's like, you think, oh, this is like, you've got the elements of a pizza that you're assembling, but like, to heat it up, it's like it catches fire. It is not good. And like, or yeah, like the taco one, I'm sure you were just like guzzling cold taco meat, you know.
I really like, I don't think that like you can't heat them up. They're not like the cheese isn't designed to melt.
Yeah, for sure.
The sauce doesn't taste good if it's been warmed
it just
up.
burns.
And those little gummy pizza doughs, you can't get a little what do they call it? Where you get like the little char on the bottom of the pizza that's so popular right now from the home ovens. They're not asking you to do any of that stuff. And I think that if you're doing the extra stuff, it's kind of defeating the purpose of having the Lunchable in the first place, which is convenience. It's like everything you need is here, right? They, on the subject of the cold thing, they have a chicken nugget Lunchable right now. I'm not a chicken nugget guy, but I think the idea of eating a cold chicken nugget is like pretty despicable.
Does it come with marinara sauce?
It comes with ketchup.
Look, if we had Lunchable, I thought there was going to be a Lunchable taste test. I feel like I had so many promises made that were not kept.
It would have made a lot of sense for us. So we do this every time. We forget a prop and then kick ourselves.
There's a supermarket just out the street.
So let me ask you, Adam, when we're looking at the history of the Lunchables, I have two conflicting stories.
Okay.
I have two conflicting adventures. One of them comes from Wikipedia, which I assume is correct. That Lunchables was designed in 1985 by Craig Mims.
Yeah.
A Oscar Mayer food scientist. They were trying to figure out how to sell more lunch meat.
Yeah.
Is that the Bureau scene?
Yeah. And it was released like locally, I think actually in Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
I might have been patient zeros.
Yeah. Right. And then 88 is when it went nationwide.
Let me tell you this, and this is my favorite thing. I found the conflicting story from the Lunchables Wikipedia, Lunchables Wiki, that says it was invented in...
Wait, this is like Wikipedia, but for Lunchables?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad this exists. As a proud moderator of Lunchapedia,
it says that Brian J. Cartwright, a Detroit chef, invented it and brought it to Oscar Mayer. Or brought it to Kraft Foods, I guess, and then they started marketing it in 1988. And he says they're still available today at his original restaurants. I don't think I trust Lunchablepedia, or the Lunchables Wikia.
Wait, say it again.
Wait, let's like Google this.
Wait. Yeah, tell me the story about the Detroit.
Okay, so what is this guy's name? I want
Brian J. Cartwright.
Ryan J.
Brian. With
Right.
B.
Okay. Basically, this is my own research, so that if I'm in Detroit, I can get a fresh Lunchable.
But yeah, it says that he was just doing this out of his chain restaurant. It doesn't give the name of the restaurant. He was selling small portion ham and cheese cracker combinations for children at area restaurants. He brought it to Kraft, and then they made it the Lunchables thing. This sounds fake to me, and I don't trust the Lunchables wiki.
Okay,
So if you can't trust the Lunchables wiki, then what can you trust in this world?
okay, so something that I think is very funny is I just Googled Brian G. Cartwright, and he looks like a guy, he looks like the guy who'd invent Lunchables. I mean, just like look at that guy.
Oh yeah, he's a kind of just a normal white guy of a middle age or older age.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's him.
But Craig Mims apparently was the actual inventor. I do trust Wikipedia. If we want to stay on the Lunchables Wikipedia thing, I do have some details from the Lunchables Wikipedia.
Sure.
Welcome. This is the welcome. It says, as of today, this wiki has 4,401 edits and over 75 articles. There you go. I don't know if that's good or bad for a Wikipedia. I'm not a open source online type.
Seems like a fair bit of activity, but I also, if you were to look at Wikipedia, those numbers pale in comparison. Well, an actual active.
So you're saying is, listeners, we got to get that number up.
Yeah.
Go in and just start editing stuff on Paris's Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Write articles about whatever.
I do have this list of alternative names that they were considering for Lunchables. If that's
hell yeah.
entrees. Like on dash trays.
Mm-hmm. ON
dash.
Yeah.
That's cute, but not like.
They did reuse that for some Lunchables advertising later on. This is the Lunchable Deluxe that comes with the mint and premium turkey. And
do you have any idea what year this might be?
Oh, I think this is the 90s.
It's all right.
1989, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So what that tells me is that the person who came up with entrees is just that annoying writer in the room who pitches the same idea over it. And everybody's like, no, we've moved on past it. And he's like, you don't understand entrees. And they're like, fine, put in this ad.
Cracker Witches.
Ooh, bad.
Cracker Witches, like WITCH?
Just WICHES.
Yes.
Oh,
Spooky.
Yes. We were just talking about weapons before we recorded the show. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for weapons, but kind of a cracker witch. And we've got mini meals, lunch kits, snackables, square meals.
Snackables, I feel like, has been reused.
I think so.
Snackables, yeah.
That's a good one.
Walk meals, go packs.
WALK?
No, WALK, because there's no walk meals. Walk meals is too much. Go packs and fun meals.
Okay, so Lunchables, I think, is a perfect name until I heard Fun Meals.
Yeah, I was going to say Fun Meals is good.
They do spell it with a Z as well.
Oh, yeah.
We are totally on the opposite page of things. I think Fun Meals is not very good. And I think the best thing about Lunchables, the best thing it's got going for it is the name of it. Like, it's a really catchy name. It tells you like what the whole thing is, and it's like fun. It's got like nice, it feels good coming off the tongue.
But Fun Meals is fun.
Yeah, Fun Meals is fun. Yeah, shut up. Hey, you don't even like Lunchables. Shut up. You're out of the Lunchable boys. It's just me and this guy.
That's all right. I'll just stand and look and watch you eat, and I'd like my mom to join a little later on. So
early on, Jef, I don't know if you saw this. They didn't know who they should be marketing this to. So they're
Really?
Yeah. So they definitely were marketing it to like working women, but they didn't know whether it was to bring to your lunch, like at the office, or for your kids. And they kind of tried both. So even your on meals thing, Jef, that's like not a kid focused thing.
Oh, yeah. Entrees, I feel like, is in that direction as well.
Yeah.
kids don't know what an entree is. They know what dinner is.
Yeah. So, which is pretty interesting because I watched a lot of we could watch some of them. I watched a lot of the old commercials, and if you go old enough, it's like just people at workplaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would y'all ever consider bringing a Lunchable to work?
Every second of my... Yeah, but I also, I write cartoons for a living. So, a sad story about me. I'm so into this macro thing that, oftentimes when you work in the entertainment industry, you get nice catered lunches where it's just sort of you get sandwiches from Jersey Mike's or something like that. But I always come in with a little plastic bag with a banana, a protein shake, a protein bar. And usually that's followed by, if they don't know me, do you have a problem? And I'm like, no, my problem is I'm trying to get strong.
So every Lunchables commercial targeted to kids ends with the exact same shot. And what it is a kid really enjoying his pizza or whatever, and then two kids on either side, looking over wistfully at what he's enjoying. So I guess my question is do you feel that in the workplace when you're eating your bagged lunch?
If the person next to me is eating a Lunchable, yes.
Okay.
That's I guess we all got Mad Men on the Lunchables. Don Draper did it to us, where it's oh yeah, this is the popular thing, because look at the commercial where the kids say that is the popular thing. Kids are susceptible to a lot of peer pressure and advertising. I was going to say something different about kids, but kids are dumb. I got a dumb kid.
Well, your first thought.
Kids are dumb. I was a dumb kid personally. I was totally susceptible to that bullshit where it's like, oh, the kid on TV says it's cool, so it must be cool.
Did y'all sort of like related to the term of Lunchables? Did y'all like trade lunches, or did y'all do that at all when you were a kid?
Yeah, we would trade specific items. Like they wouldn't like cornbread or something. I would love that, so I would take anyway. Yeah.
So I got in trouble at my elementary school for basically creating like a food trading empire.
Oh,
to the point because like I think that advertising worked on my mom because I got all the good stuff. I got like Lunchables, I got Gushers, I got Fruit by the Foot. Like basically just like Saturday morning cartoons.
Capri Sun.
Like that was just my Capri 100% Capri Sun. So I would like trade with kids for their lunches, but then whatever they would trade me, I would trade up for other stuff to the point that I traded some kid like I think a Lunchable for his Game Boy.
Whoa.
And this was like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
These were like pretty new. And it was to the point where like the next day, the kid's mom came in and was just like, "Hey, you need to give that Game Boy back." And like yelled at the teacher. And I think finally the kid was like, I think that I was just like, "But he traded to me fair and square." And the mom was just like, "Is this true?" And then the kid was like, "Yeah." And the mom was like, "Okay, fine. You can keep the
Oh,
Game Boy."
wow.
Yeah. But then the teacher pulled me aside and was like, "You cannot trade lunches anymore."
But you still got the Game Boy out of it.
Yeah, I got a Game Boy and a copy of Mega Man 2, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Is that a good one?
Double win. I mean, it's fun. It's hard.
Yeah, I remember the Game Boy Mega Man being quite challenging. So, congratulations, and I respect the hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Has that hustle? You're still trading lunches at the office and getting cars, Porsches, or whatever.
How do you think I got that flight to New Zealand? I just hung out at the Burbank airport and saw a pilot and was just like, "Hey, I'll give you a Lunchable if you fly me to New Zealand." And then he was just like, "What kind of Lunchable is that?"
So, I'm trying to figure out how to grapple with this. Like, we're going to get more into the Lunchables, but like things that are designed like for kids in the way that Lunchables are, like for me, it feels really cynical. Like, I know that it wasn't specifically designed for kids, but like as it's made,
Eventually it did.
eventually it starts to be like really cynical, and like it just like it stresses me out to think about Lunchables. Like, I don't know why I don't know who picked this topic. We gave you some choices.
It was on our list.
It was on our list.
Yeah.
Either Adam or I.
It's a great topic. I love
Fantastic topic. But I'm feeling like I'm having like a breakdown. Like I'm going to talk about this episode with my therapist.
Well, oh, really?
A little bit.
Like what? Like Fruit by the Foot or Go-Gurt or like what?
But there's something specific about Lunchables being like sold to kids that really feels like cynical,
capitalist, predatory.
or me predator. Yeah, all of those words.
I guess I get what you're talking about because like if it's marketed to kids, presumably this is replacing a kid's lunch. And if they're going to school, presumably it's replacing this like, thought out school lunch with like a certain amount of things with something that just is more fun, So I get what you're talking about where it's like there is something about, school lunches weren't really broken. So by selling something that's like a school lunch but less food, it is a weird way to kind of skirt the system. That said, F school lunches, Lunchables forever.
Well, okay, so let's get into some history stuff.
Yes.
if that's cool with you.
Absolutely.
So first of all, one before I get into the Reagan stuff,
There's Reagan stuff.
I'll just say that Oscar Mayer, people weren't buying bologna because my bologna had that was all 70s stuff, and then in the 80s, like they were kind of freaking out because it was going down. So that's really a lot of where this came from.
all right, all the baloney. We got to move this baloney.
Yeah.
Baloney lobbyists. We're just like, oh God, I got to talk to the president about this.
So the Omnibus Reconciliation Act of 1981, the federal government reduced its subsidy for full-price lunches. So basically, they stopped paying for kids' lunches. Okay, and what that meant is that the schools had to cut back on quality, and then the people who were paying for full-price lunches, they told their parents or whatever, like, "Hey, this sucks. Like, can I have something else?" And then they ran out of even more money because then it was only kids who were getting like subsidized or free lunches. So it like further exacerbated the funding issue. So basically, in a lot of ways, like school lunches were decent to some degree, quote unquote. Even the ketchup is a vegetable thing that you guys maybe have heard of. That came from this thing where they were just cutting, wasteful government. They talked about food waste of kids. They had like a little quippy name for it. I have it somewhere. But anyway, so that's a lot of where this comes from.
Are you saying that Ronald Reagan did something bad? No.
I was surprised too.
A perfect politician, Ronald Reagan.
I do have. I think this was in the. Do you have more on that topic? Did you want to keep?
I probably do, but you go.
This is a little after that, but at one point, so Lunchables were so prevalent that they like made some changes to it to be allowed as part of school lunches. Like I think they added more whole grains to the crackers and added like a little bit more protein. I don't know if that's like adding like an extra slice of cheese or bumping up the protein in the cheese that they were using, but they met the metric to be served through the National School Lunch Program. This is in the 90s.
Ah, weird.
And then later controversies about the content of Lunchables, which I cannot wait to get into.
Yeah. One more thing before that. So, Jef, to your sort of fear of the Don Draper of it all, in 1984, the FCC FTC specifically lowered its rules for advertising to kids. So, like, there were very strict regulations about what you could do and what. So our whole childhood, G.I. Joe and all that kind of stuff, it all comes from that, and Lunchables also, of course. Yeah.
Terrifying.
Great, love it.
Yeah. I don't.
As someone who writes for kids' TV and sells a lot of toys, good.
I'm not wild about nostalgia. I'm not a nostalgic person. I'm so excited about the future and like, I don't know if that's right now is not a great time to be excited about the future, but I generally like think of like nostalgia being poison. Like our generation, we're nostalgic for G.I. Joe and it was like just there to sell us toys. Like there's nothing good about G.I. Joe and cue 1 million G.I. Joe fanboys, coming at me.
Yeah, we're done.
We know a few of them too.
Yeah, we know.
But I don't like nostalgia, I think. And when I say nostalgia is poison, like Lunchables is like the literal version of that. It is like, we love it because we had it when we were kids and it will kill you. And Adam, why will it kill you?
Oh, no, I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
Speed up for that. I'm trying to push back on you a little bit, Joe.
Okay.
I mean, you are a Marvel comic book fan.
Not really reading them anymore.
You're dressed like one of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I've got this time back in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying you have like Bill and Ted's artwork. Like on some level nostalgia must work for you. And it works for me too. I'm not trying to single you out, but yeah.
I'm not saying I have no nostalgia or whatever. Like, I mean, when I'm reading Marvel comics, I'm reading, the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee stuff for
the readings for the articles.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't like read the Fantastic Four stuff when I was growing up. I came to it like when I was a little older as a teen, and I'm like, I love what they're doing in the 60s. I like good art. I like the Bill and Ted stuff, as I'm a fan of the cartoonist that did it, Evan Dorkin, one of my favorites.
I do agree. Like the marketing of nostalgia. Like we are the patient zero of that generation, and yeah.
So something related to that. I'm not sure if this is on y'all's purview, but Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, the guys who played Bill and Ted, they're currently doing a run on Broadway of the play Waiting for Godot. And I was just in New York last week, and my girlfriend and I saw it. So we got to see Bill and Ted do Waiting for Godot. So very related to what you're saying. The favorite point of it was a point in the middle of the play where they were standing back to back and they said, "This is just like the old days, huh?" And they went,
oh my God.
And I screamed with joy.
That would work on me for sure.
Yeah. Probably work on me as well, but I wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was there to see Bill and Ted hang out. And boy, it was a 2-hour play. Probably an hour of that play was just them kind of screwing around and doing clown stuff. So like, it's truly, and then like, there's like story somewhere in there, but it's truly a delight just to watch those two guys on stage, just kind of messing around and wasting time.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
do we want to get to the point that Lunchables just might kill you? So
No, I think we're good. I think we talked about, look, Lunchables are great. Ronald Reagan was a good president. I think we covered all the bases on this episode. Now let's go to the store and eat some Lunchables.
get some of those whack little pizzas.
Yeah.
Aside from the sodium, and there was some pushback, like the sodium and the saturated fat in a Lunchable is it's insane. It's really like wild how much stuff that they're loading it up with. Like bologna's not healthy for you. And if the idea of the thing is to sell bologna, well, like bologna is super saturated fats, super salty, like yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was taking the deep.
Oh no, okay. Like there was one type of Lunchable that had like 100% of a child's like saturated fat in the 90s. Like just insane sodium levels. And like people were pushing back on it. There was like a low-fat Lunchable introduced in the 90s when everybody was like pretty weird about the low-fat thing, which are you doing? I mean, we don't do low-fat here in 2025, do we?
We do protein.
We do protein, but that's high-fat, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, so to your point, I will say that one of my most vivid memories of Lunchables, specifically the bologna crackers, cheese Lunchables, is how salty the crackers were. Yeah. It's like I have vivid memories of like, this is the saltiest cracker I've ever had in my life. This is not, they just took a cracker and they were just, and somebody in the Lunchables factory was like, let's just salt that up a little bit. I'm sure it was probably just so it would like keep on shelves better or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not low fat. It's like, I think that it's just, like fat is important. It helps with like brain function and all that stuff. So I just like, I have like a specific macro plan. So it's like, I just know how much fat I'm eating every day. But that said, it's like, it is important to make sure that you're eating the right amount of fat and the right kind of fat. Like saturated fat, not good for you, but like fish fats, great for you, like omega-3s and stuff. So I think that this just speaks to like, I feel like not enough people are educated about just reading labels. And I think that's part of, like, to me, I don't necessarily fault Oscar Mayer for making Lunchables so healthy, because, you know, it's capitalism. They're going to do what they're going to do. I do think that there is, to your point, something cynical about advertising something that you know is unhealthy to children. Mm-hmm. But I do think that like there could be some more education in this country about just like, look at the label so you know that it has 100% of your saturated fat.
Yeah. Well, one thing that it is not showing up on the label, and this is the big controversy of Lunchables right now, the lead content of Lunchables is extraordinarily high.
Delicious.
This has been like a pretty recent thing. Are you saying this, Adam?
Yeah.
In the last like
couple of years,
like I think it's Consumer Reports did their lead study on Lunchables and found that it is a leaded food. And I do try to get my food to be unleaded, persistent.
Yeah.
But it's like dangerous amounts of lead in Lunchables.
So I feel really weird because it feels like I'm just about to defend.
Please defend it. I'm letting for Lunchables today.
So what I actually read is that there, and who knows if this amount is legit, there is a recommended like percentage that is safe enough for kids to consume every day. And Lunchables is under that. It's like 75% of that amount. Mm-hmm. So if the kid was to get it somewhere else or eat two, then it's dangerous.
Okay.
But one serving is technically under the safe, according to somebody, amount.
I mean, that is something that I'm running into a lot now as an adult, in that like there's lead in so much stuff, mm-hmm. like especially processed foods. Like I recently, like literally within the past 2 weeks, had to like switch out the types of protein shakes that I drink, just because the protein shakes that I drink, it's like one protein shake has like 100% of your daily recommended amount of lead per day.
Wow.
And like, so if you drink 2 protein shakes, you got to be careful. You know, it is just, I mean, I guess I kind of figured that like, you know, it's 2025. Maybe I assume that in 2025 there would not be lead in things that we eat, you know?
I mean, maybe it's Pollyanna-ish of me to say such things, but I don't think there should be lead in food for children.
Yeah. Right. And
if have like a little,
just as a treat.
Yeah. If you had the choice and if you had the knowledge that they were potentially getting 75% of their recommended lead amount.
You feel like, oh, now I gotta be really careful about that extra 25% of lead I'm gonna feed my kid.
Yeah.
There was a Lunchable, supposedly a killer, that was introduced in the last few years called the Lunchly. Am I getting the name right?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the way you teed that up, I thought you were saying like a Lunchable themed cereal.
No, I thought too.
No, Lunchable will kill you, and they tried to like, is it Logan Paul and
Mr. Beast and
the Feastables or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it's Lunchly from Feastables, and they said we're going to make the healthier version of Lunchable.
Yeah, don't they suck? They're like awful.
Well, they have more lead, even more lead than a Lunchable.
Okay, but if they have, as long as they don't have 100%,
It's still so like Lunchable is like 73, and the Mr. Beast one is 78 or something.
Oh, okay, so it's still good.
Yeah. Well under the amount of lead that a normal child could withstand in a day. These, did you see anything about these Lunchly?
Well, the big thing about them is that they got mold. Like even up until now, because with their initial launch, they had like mold galore, and then they were like, oh well, we changed our practices. But I was on Ralphs.com reading reviews, which is now my new favorite thing. I'm going to be doing this more. And it was like 2 months ago or 1 month ago, people were like, this was covered in mold when I opened it up. So I guess they didn't fix it all.
Hey, I mean, all of a sudden it makes a lot of sense why there's so much salt on those Lunchables backers.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah. But they're also 2 times the price.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're $6, and Lunchables are like $2.80.
And speaking of feeding kids bad stuff, so like I know that the Lunchables is like some of the I guess expert level or like the premium Lunchables back in the day came with like a Capri Sun or whatever,
Right?
and the Mr. Beast ones come with Mr. Beast, or maybe it's a Logan Paul energy.
Come with like Prime or something.
Prime. Man.
You can't give that to kids.
No,
kill a kid, right?
Really?
Don't assume so.
I don't think it's caffeinated version of Prime, but it is full. Have you ever had a Prime?
I have had a Prime.
I have to say I'm very proud I've never had a Prime.
I had it one time, and it was shockingly like it was a taste of chemicals that I have never experienced in my life.
There's some chlorine in that.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be pretty immune to all. I've had this shit my whole life, but like, no, this was on another level.
Tastes like a damn swimming pool.
Yeah, it kind of does, because it's got weird fake sweeteners, and then it's got a little bit of regular sugar, and it's just weird like coloring and stuff like that. It's like intense.
To me, I guess Lunchly to me is cynical, because it's sort of like, oh, you're just trying to create. It's like you are a brand that markets to kids. You were trying to create something to destroy this other brand that markets to kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like once I heard about it, I was like, I understand why this exists, but it's annoying to me that it exists.
But also, Mr. Beast is like the biggest kids entertainer.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what the equivalent would that be, but for us, that would be like whatever. I don't even have a good example, because I was going to say G.I. Joe, but that's no good.
Yeah, I guess it would be like Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman just being like, eat the Lunchable, shaking it.
Pee Wee Herman being just like, here's chocolate, it has my face on it.
Yeah.
I've never had a Lunchly. Have y'all had a Lunchly?
No.
I refuse to have something that competes with Lunchables.
and like it's baby's first charcuterie or whatever. Like, they were giving kids their first taste of energy drink, even if it's not caffeine. Like, we're going to show them that Prime this is fun, and then they'll grow up and go get the Primes on their own that are like the real stuff, just really, really gnarly, really, really bad stuff. So high lead, high mold, and energy drink filled.
Yeah, so I guess question, since y'all are such supermarket experts and aficionados, how do you feel about like the Mr. Beasts and Logan Pauls of the world entering into the supermarket space? I just heard the largest sigh I've ever heard.
It's a good question. It's a difficult question.
So I will confess, I'm largely ignorant of both of them, outside of like reading TMZ and like keeping up on pop culture for my job.
Like, I guess when you see Prime energy drinks or Lunchlys in the supermarket, do you feel at all like these interlopers are infringing on this sacred space?
I mean, everybody has to be like, Paul Newman wasn't like a celebrity chef when he invented his salad dressing.
Yeah.
There's space for celebrities to come in. Logan Paul seems like kind of a nasty freak, and people find Mr. Beast unpleasant.
I guess that to me, it's like it feels weird to have a celebrity try to replace an entire meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, when we were kids, like Bart Simpson was on Butterfingers, but that's like a candy, that's like a fun thing. And you understood as a kid, like, oh, this is a treat,
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just like the Simpsons brand meals ready to eat or something like that, that would feel like weird, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's like unhealthy and bad.
And the other cynical part about it is that Prime is Logan Paul's company and KSI's, I think, company. And then the chocolate bar that's in it, that's Mr. Beast's company.
That's Feastables.
Yeah. So they like combine together and they're like, we're not selling enough of our regular kids product stuff. So like, let's make a Lunchable.
I mean, that's the premise of a Lunchable in the first place. We're not selling enough bologna. Put it in a different package. Get the kids to buy it. So, I don't.
But at least bologna, I don't even want to. Bologna's not that good for you, but at least it's not a candy bar. You know,
Yeah.
At least it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're talking about. Where it's, I mean, and I'm sure that there's. Look, I'm sure all you bologna heads listening right now are gonna throw me under the bus for this. If I get bologna canceled, I get it. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some statistics saying that actually a Feastable is healthier than bologna, but I'm just going to refuse to believe that until somebody sends me data, you know?
Yeah.
I don't hate it, I guess. Like, I don't like these guys, but if like a different YouTube guy or whatever, I'm trying to think of a YouTube guy that I like.
Well, it's like if somebody was like, I am actually creating a healthy lunch and like the goal is and like it doesn't have as many preservatives or whatever, then that to me would not feel cynical. Like if like Miss Rachel or something like that sponsored or like had some kind of branded lunch where it's like, oh, the goal of this is to give kids the recommended amount of like omega-3 fatty acids or something like that. That would at least feel like, oh, she's not just doing this for money.
Yes.
Whereas I think that Mr. Beast, I think Feastables and Lunchly just feels like such a cash grab.
That's right.
Like, you know, at the expense of kids' health, which like sucks, you know?
This might be the subject of a future episode, but I am reminded so specifically of the dill burrito.
Oh, I heard of this.
This was like way back in the day. This is like in the like early 2000s. The Dilbert guy, Scott Adams, said, I'm going to make a like frozen burrito that is like perfect nutrition. Like if you eat this, you have all of the things that you need for the day. And I saw like mock-ups of it. Joey, you said you're familiar with this. Did you ever see one in person?
So I'm familiar with it. I've never seen one in person, but I remember reading, I want to say a Vice article about somebody eating one, specifically talking about how it like liquefied their insides. Like I think it's just the most like that to me is like it's the most cynical. It was like a burrito, but it had like an egg in it and like other stuff that you don't really want to have in like a microwave. It was sort of like somebody that was like, hey, office idiots, you want some slop? You know?
I got to turn it back to Soylent, and I know that Joey, you're a protein shake guy, so I hope it's not offensive to talk bad about Soylent.
Hey, F Soylent. Let's dive in, brother.
When I worked for a terrible laundry delivery company when I was living in LA and drawing comic books and getting into that groove and supporting myself by doing laundry delivery. It was a tech company. It is no longer with us. I hate them. I will shout them out. Fuck off to Washio. Terrible.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, I used to be a delivery driver for them. And the premise was like, when you pick up the laundry, you'd give somebody like a little brownie.
A dill burrito.
No, it was it's this baked brownie. And then they switched it to Soylent. They did like product placement with the Soylent people. And it's like, okay, you have to give somebody a Soylent. You have to explain to them what Soylent is. And then say, and here it is. And I just like threw them all into the garbage. And
you gave them to your friends.
I gave them to my friends, and then my friends stopped drinking them because they said that they sucked, and then I just started putting them in the bins.
Yeah.
I went through a Soylent phase, I want to say in 2015, 2016. I didn't buy the pre-made ones. I bought the powder and stuff like that. And at a certain point, I kind of associated Soylent as like, oh, this is what giving up tastes like. Because it's like that to me was a big pressure point. There was like friends in my, like, I got multiple like concern phone calls from friends that were like, Joey, are you okay? And like people saying like, I will make meals for you. And I guess that like, I understand what Soylent does and I understand the use that it has. But to me, it just feels like, yeah, I don't know, make a sandwich. Like, you know, it's just sort of like, it's not like it's not good for you. It also like wrecks your like dietary tract. You don't feel good after drinking it. Yeah. It's like technically it gives you like, you know, nutrients and protein and stuff like that. But it also just feels like, oh, you've just like stopped living, you know? Like I think my roommate at the time yelled at me when he saw that I ordered it.
But also, like we've already talked about, we already had things that this theoretically would do. So it's just like a worse version of things that already existed.
But it's like, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, in that like Lunchables exist as an easy meal replacement for like a mom to feed their hungry kid without having to put too much work into it. But I think that it is important to like read the labels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just have like, because it says, it doesn't say how much lead is in it, but it says how much saturated fat is in it. It says if it's healthy. I think that like Soylent being marketed as like, this is a complete meal replacement, and then you look at it and it's like, oh, it's got like 300 calories and like it's just carbs or something like that. It's like, that's not, you should not replace your meal with that.
Yeah.
I will say something very nice about Lunchables for the first time on this episode. It's way better than Soylent.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think that Silen is like the worst possible.
So, I mean, we've maybe talked about this on the show, but the one time I had Soylent, Jef gave me one, and I shit myself. The only time as a grown adult, this was it, and it was rough. So
it wasn't one of those sweet times where you shit yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Soylent, for that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about it, I think that I had Soylent and I just like didn't shit for a week or something like that. It was just like, oh, this is just cement in my insides.
Absolutely terrible stuff. I'm so glad I binned it. I spared you, my friends, the worst shitting of their pants that they could experience.
It's gonna affect your body in ways that you do not want it to.
I would love to jump back to Lunchables and talk about all the varieties of Lunchables.
Let's go.
All right. I do have a list of the top discontinued ones. I think there's dozens and dozens and dozens. Did any of y'all have a favorite one besides the standard one that you can remember?
Pizza Lunchable immediately comes to mind. Honestly, the bologna one, I just have, once again, such specific memories of how salted that cracker was. And those are not bad memories. Like I'm like a little bit of a salt hound now. And I do think that might be because Lunchables made me that. So when I have a heart attack at 45, Lunchables owe a little bit of the blame.
I have a fun, the tasting table said, and this is from this year, where they said, this is the worst Lunchable of all time. It is the mozzarella stick Lunchable.
Ooh.
This, Joey, you're a marinara guy. You might like this one, but
come with marinara?
It does.
Okay, I'm back on board.
It's just like little strips of mozzarella cheese, and then you dip it in the mozzarella, and then it has a different dunking thing of breadcrumbs that you dunk it into.
Oh, I feel like I might have had this one. I think that the issue with this is that the marinara sauce was like watery.
Okay, so it's a different from the pizza marinara.
Yeah, it's not. If it was just pizza marinara, I'd be down for it. But yeah, I remember this marinara sauce. It was like in a cup, and it had like a watery film to it, which is very much like really what you want with your mozzarella.
This is breaking my heart to hear about this. I'll be honest with you. This is bumming me out. Adam, did you have any particularly diabolical Lunchables that you wanted to...
The pizza? Oh, just in general?
In general, or if you had some from your childhood?
The pizza one's the one that I think I had pretty much every time.
Okay.
I remember just the basic, whatever.
That's the first variation also, because the Lunchables was originally like the bologna and the turkey circles.
Yeah.
And then they kind of... that was like their first like brand expansion, was into pizzas. Then they did the taco one, which... destroyed me.
Oh, yeah. They had a nacho one. Do you remember? It was just like Fritos and like...
I feel like I had the nacho one a couple times. Nacho one wasn't bad. It hit fine.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that I just love, like, I mean, I have nostalgia for like that level of processed nacho cheese that's like, I'm sure contains zero dairy or cheese. It's just plastic. So question about pizza Lunchables. There were actually a couple different types of pizza Lunchables. There was the kind with pepperoni, but then there was also like a 3-cheese pizza Lunchable where there were a couple different types of cheeses. Did y'all have any experience with that?
I'm sure I tried them all.
I remember just a white mozzarella cheese, but the 3-cheese sounds good.
Yeah, it was like mozzarella. There was some cheddar. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
All right, I'm throwing out some real toxic.
Let's go. Go for it.
I don't like any extra 3-cheese pizza. I don't know what people are doing putting cheddar cheese on a pizza. Maybe that's a Midwest thing, but like doing mozzarella and like a hard cheese on top. This 3-cheese stuff with the pizzas, I do not get that.
Hey, I'm going to say this with love and respect. you got to live a little, man. Get some extra cheeses on that pizza. Go to New York, have a couple different types. Yeah, it'd be delightful. Maybe try some hot honey on your pizza.
I'm too rigid in my pizza thinking.
Yeah, you got to be a pizza progressive, not a pizza conservative.
But so there is a lot of other Italian style Lunchables that might have marinara on them for you. There is the pizza dunks. Did you ever see a pizza dunk?
Yeah, I definitely had the pizza dunks.
That is,
those were okay. I think that the issue with those is that the cracker was like extra gummy on those.
And there was a Italian style chicken.
I don't think I ever had that one.
And this is I'm looking up the description of this. Sorry, there's so many that I gotta go through here. The Italian style chicken is like, I think it's like chicken mozzarella and marinara sauce. So it might be like chicken nuggets, and then it had chocolate pizzas that were colored like the Italian flag.
Okay, so I do not remember the Italian flag, but I do remember the chocolate pizzas. Yeah, it was like instead of having marinara sauce, it had like frosting. Those were fine. I mean, I feel like it did its job. It was fun to suck the frosting out of the soup.
I never saw a hot dog Lunchable in my entire life. I was like out of the Lunchables game when they started introducing hot dogs and hamburgers.
I think I had a couple of hot dog Lunchables. With those, the bun was so small. It was like a cocktail wiener kind of situation. Yeah. And they were like, I don't necessarily have fond memories of them or negative memories of them. I think that I probably was just like, why is this not a pizza Lunchable?
Okay. I mean, they probably had a surplus of Vienna sausages on hand. And how do we get kids to eat a Vienna sausage? Why is the hot dog small? Isn't like a hot dog like normal size for like it's kid sized already? I think
it was so that they could fit like 3 of them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. Like making the thing is part of the fun.
Yeah.
I'm outing myself as a fun hater, I guess. And like,
I mean, you did say that you hate like what they're called, like fun meals or something like that.
Yeah. There is the lot of like dessert there's a dessert dunkers.
Yeah.
There's like Oreo cookies and frosting fun snacks. Joey, have you had any of the
dessert dunkers? Yes. They had a similar issue to the pizza dunkers in that like just had such a gummy cracker.
Okay.
But the Oreo one, I don't remember specifically, but I feel like that would be good because, like, I mean, Oreo cream is great,
Mm-hmm. And they have the breakfast versions as well.
Yeah, Breakfastables.
Have you had those?
I feel like I had it a couple times. It was like essentially a bagel sandwich.
I didn't see that. I saw pancakes and waffles, but was it like eggs on the bagel sandwich?
No, it was essentially like a regular Lunchable, except instead of cracker, it was like a bagel kind of thing.
Okay, was the bagel I mean, I know the answer to the question as I'm asking it, but was the bagel any good?
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, I get through the question.
Yeah, I think that those came with it was the bagels and then the lunch meat. Instead of being like a little like lunch meat hockey puck, it was more like a foldable thing. So it's essentially like you're making like a bagel sandwich or something.
All right. There were grilled cheese sandwiches from Lunchables.
I never had one of those. I'd be so curious about the physics of that. Like, how are you grilling that?
Well, it comes grilled. It was and you're supposed to microwave this one. And it came in original and pepperoni pizza flavors. And they had like, we know how that Hot Pocket invented that little device that makes the Hot Pocket go crispy, like the aluminum foil box.
Right.
They invented a 360 crisp platform to support crispy, crunchy microwave products like the grilled cheese.
There's no way that works. I mean, I want to try.
Okay. Now you're sounding like Mr. Stephen Hawking over there, just debunking the physics of the little aluminum foil box.
I mean, famed Lunchable here, Stephen Hawking. Y'all think Stephen Hawking ever ate a Lunchable?
That's a good question.
Maybe back in the day. I mean, he's our age. He's 41, right? And then I think the newest innovation is also sandwichy. They ripped off Uncrustables.
Oh yeah.
I forget what they
PB&J. I'm looking at it right now. It's just called Lunchables PB&J.
Yeah, I feel like I probably had one of those. It was fine.
Okay, and that comes with, and I do love this. Their big innovation is that it comes with a little thing of jelly that you can dunk the thing into. Did you jelly dunk, Joey?
Every second of my life. Yeah, I feel like I probably had that at some point, and I remember, it's probably something I had once or twice, but don't have like any strong memories associated with it.
Okay.
Also, a quick thought. I do not like artificial intelligence, but if somebody listening to this made an artificial intelligence AI video of Stephen Hawking eating a Lunchable, I would heart emoji.
I've been out of the Lunchables game for so long that I thought that this was just like,
You got to get back in.
I don't. My partner loves these smart balance things. Have you seen these that are kind of the Lunchables? It's actually more of a reasonable thing. I don't know if we have time to get into all of this, but Sargento makes them. They're like little trays that have like cheese cubes and dried cranberries and almonds or like walnuts.
Oh, yeah. You can buy these in airports and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have those in our house a lot. My partner is a big fan of those. I was researching those and like they were invented in like 2015, and you can watch the slideshow of Sargento Innovations, and that is prominently featured as a Sargento innovation, the Smart Balance.
Which is not really very innovative, right?
Smart Break, it's innovative enough. It's just a more sophisticated or a less processed Lunchable, I guess. I'd like to ask everybody, if you could Lunchablify one of your favorite foods, what would it be? I'll start linguine with clams.
I want a Lunchable, a filet mignon, just because I want to see how they pull that off and if I would get a disease while eating it.
I feel like a pancake could work.
I think they had a pancake.
Oh, okay. I would try it. I mean, it wouldn't be good, but it could. You could do it enough.
Do you know why they discontinued the pancake Lunchable? The syrup kept breaking.
Oh, I remember that. I feel like I had the pancake Lunchable a couple times.
Do you get doused with syrup opening up a pancake Lunchable?
I think it's just like you open it and it's clear that it's already open and it's in the tray and it's just like, and it just like has a film on it now, you know?
That sounds like the opposite of fun. That's quite unfun.
Yeah.
So
that's why they didn't call it fun
meals.
Fun meals, yeah.
Fun meals.
I was joking about the linguine with clams. Like, I don't know if I have like a great answer. Honestly, the Italian chicken one sounds pretty good as far as like I love a Parmesan sandwich or like an Italian sandwich, like with all like the cold cuts, like, you know, your mortadella and your gabagool and
that'd be fun
stuff. Mm-hmm. That could be really fun. So I guess Lunchablify that one for me. So
Tony Soprano's Lunchable.
Yeah, they could put him in the commercials, a little animated Tony Soprano.
Finally, we're honoring his memory the way he wanted it.
Do we have any final thoughts about Lunchables?
They rock. Every negative word said about Lunchables on this podcast, I have immediately forgotten.
All right. Well, I am sorry that I came out so hard against them, and maybe I will try one, and we can do like a bonus content video of me like trying a Lunchable here for the first time in 25 years. I don't know if I want to waste my money with it. No, sorry to say it. No offense to everybody.
$270. I'll buy you one.
Okay. We'll do some video content of me trying I feel like an ogre after this episode. So
why? Just because you're trashing Lunchable?
It's for kids. It's fun, and I'm like being cranky.
No, you're 100% right. It is a cynical capitalist ploy, but so is a lot of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's tough. Like this is a good conversation to have as far as nostalgia goes. Like I worked for like kind of a nerd-based comedy website for a couple of years, and so I would write a lot of things where it's just sort of like a deep dive into like this Star Wars thing. And then I would have like 50-year-olds sending me death threats over DMs because I like it's pronounced like, I don't know, like Luke, the clone Luke with 5 U's or whatever. And it's like, we had a lot of conversations in the office about just like, do people know this is like for children? So, I think that there is some aspect of maybe we're being a bit too critical about something that was like for kids. But I do 100% see your point about like the health benefits of it. It's like, oh, if it's like bad for kids and contains lead, I think that that's like fair to critique, And
I'm not coming hard for Fruit by the Foot, which is something that was meant.
Which is all lead.
I think that's probably going to do it for us. Joey, if people want more of you, where can they find you? Where can they see your movie?
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Joeytainment. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads at Joey Clift with 5 or 6 eyes. That's because a 12-year-old took Joey Clift with 1 eye, so I just had to deal.
You're a clone, right?
Yeah, that is the deal. Is I'm the 6th clone of regular Joey Clift. You can, my short film is called Pow. It is going to be available on the FNX streaming app as of November 24th. So definitely check it out. on that. And if you follow me on social media, you get all this info. And if you want to check out my Comedy Central digital series, Gone Native, go to gonenative.tv. I've written on shows like Paw Patrol, Cocomelon, like Rubble and Crew. Go watch those things.
Oh, yeah.
I have a book coming out next year, which doesn't have a title yet. So, but just Google Joey Clift book in a little bit, and it'll probably pop up.
All
right. If it doesn't, it means my contract didn't come through. But yeah, I don't know. Just follow me on social media and you'll hear about all this stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me. This was truly, truly a delight to talk about Lunchables with the boys.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad we caught you in person while you were in town. And we loved talking Lunchables with you.
Yay.
A true treat. For Adam Fligsten and myself, thank you for listening to Cleanup on Aisle Podcast. I'm Jef Harmatz.
right.
Fun meals.